In a desolate building, far from the capital city, darkness loomed. The roof leaked, allowing a feeble stream of light to pierce the shadows. All the windows were blocked, creating an eerie atmosphere. In the center of this dim space, 5 suspects stood, their hands tied above their heads. Blood trickled from their noses and mouths. Before each suspect, a bucket of water rested, and next to these buckets were powerful 300 kilowatts electric power supply batteries. Positive wires were connected to the buckets, while the negative wires lay on the cold, damp floor. The door creaked open, and the chief of police entered, his footsteps echoing through the eerie silence. He made his way to the man at the far end, who had been administering brutal treatment to the suspects. "What do we have here?" Chief of Police inquired, his tone as cold as the room. "They are all members of a drug cartel, sir. Each of them was involved in the delivery of illegal substances on that fateful day," the man known as the Tormentor replied. "They claim to know nothing about the stolen budget money, but have provided names of potential suspects involved." He handed Chief of Police a sheet of paper listing those names. Chief of Police examined the list with satisfaction and tapped the tormentor on the shoulder. "Well done," he said. Meanwhile, across the country, citizens were startled as their televisions automatically turned on. A breaking news headline flashed across the screens, capturing everyone's attention. #Justice for Inspector Mitchell and our fallen cops on December 10, 22 attack, the caption read. A female newscaster wearing a mask began to deliver a shocking revelation to the public. She reported that the supposed attack on the police convoy, escorting 5 suspects linked to the national budget money hijacking, was not the work of the laws, but instead, it was orchestrated by Chief of Police Mark Gabriel. The news broadcasted CCTV footage showing Chief of Police entering the building where the suspects were held and later disposing of their bodies in the notorious River of Death. "We, the laws, demand justice for our fallen friends, brothers, partners, mothers, sisters, and fathers," the newscaster declared. "The Chief of Police must be held accountable." As the news segment concluded, the televisions automatically switched off, leaving the nation in stunned silence. Chief of Police sat on his bed, clutching his phone, his face pale as he read numerous text messages and notifications. The automatic activation of his bedroom television had jolted him awake, and the shocking news left him speechless. His phone displayed a message from the president, "Clear your mess." Outside the presidential villa, protesters had gathered with placards bearing slogans like #Justice for Inspector Mitchell and our fallen cops, #Cop must be brought to book, and #Police are meant to protect us, not to kill us. President Kennedy emerged from the villa to address the demonstrators. "It is with great shame that I address you today," he began, his voice heavy with regret. "Under my tenure, many unprecedented events have unfolded. As we all know, the national budget was hijacked by a group known as the Laws. The Chief of Police and I have been diligently working to bring the culprits to justice. However, I was taken aback by the news this morning. The footage displayed on our TVs has led me to find Chief of Police guilty of heinous crimes. I have relieved him of his position, and he will face the consequences in a court of law." President Kennedy is seen visiting at the maximum security prison, where the former Chief of Police now served a life sentence. He handed over a photograph of the chief's family, who had been brutally murdered by admirer as revenge for the death of his own men. The president's voice was solemn as he offered his condolences, then turned and about to leave, but the scream of the Chief of Police, now stripped of his power, made him halt. "I know who you are, Dr. Alexandra, LSSNOK nunca perdió su objetivo," he said. "Here's a proposition for you. Do to admirer's family what he did to mine, and I'll give you his flash drive as payment."